Hey, so this is Misery Loves Company. It's a weekly reading series hosted by miserytourism.com. Every Friday, we welcome transgressive and outsider writers to come and share their work with us. And that's pretty much fucking it. So here's the deal. We had a couple of people sign up to read. One of them hasn't showed up yet, and the other is experiencing technical difficulties. So we're going to do this thing ass backwards, and we're going to start with the open mic. So we've had a few people offer to read during the open mic here. I think, Dan, I think you were the first one, and I'll put the link in the chat.
Okay, let me bring it up here.
Do you want me to link this, Dan, on Twitter?
Sure.
Okay.
Hold on. I hate the Zoom app that it cancels out the what's it called? Like the video if you have something on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have it open on your phone, like an app, another app, it closes the video.
Oh, yeah.
Use Zoom on my phone. My phone probably can't even handle it, I would guess.
Okay. All right. This the story is called Payday. It's hard bringing the old hot oil out at the end of the night because the waitresses are usually camped in the alley behind the bar, smoking a joint and showing each other dick pics on their phones. Janelle, my favorite, sits quietly on an upturned bucket a few feet away from Daria and Christine while they make uncertain boot prints in the snow. Daria told me earlier in the shift Janelle's father just had his plug pulled after falling off a roof and into a coma. She seems to have liked her dad, and nobody knows why she came to work. You need help with that? Now he's got it. The hot oil hits the cold oil in the grease trap, and it spits and sputters up and out of the large black drum and onto my chef's whites. Janelle is still sitting there when I turn around and set the heavy steel pot down. The other girls are heading back inside. There's another bucket just outside the door to the back of the kitchen, and I flip it over. I've lost my matches, so I'm forced to light my smoke with the barbecue starter we use to reignite the pilot flame with the deep fryers. I think I'm a sociopath, I say, for no good reason. Janelle looks up from her joint and gives up a strained smirk. Why? I don't know, just a feeling. I have trouble relating to people or interacting. Maybe you have Asperger, she sniffles in the cold. Maybe. Janelle hands me the joint and I wave it away. I get weird. Weirder than normal? Yes. Where's James? Who fucking knows? This is the fourth time he's no-showed. The sound of snow being crushed beneath footsteps carries up the alley as James comes around the corner. Janelle whispers, "Can you tell him to not be so creepy? The other girls always hear him muttering creepy shit. Just tell Marcus, he's the one who hired the motherfucker." Was he really just in jail? I nod, or so he says. James is in earshot now, so we go quiet even though it's a dead giveaway that we're talking shit. Hey buddy, James says, showing his rotten smile. He explained once that his crack teeth got away from smoking crack. Motherfucker, I know you have crack teeth. We're in Surrey right now. Janelle stubs out a roach and goes back inside. Car trouble? It's snowing, man. We had to dig the car out of the driveway and the baby didn't like the cold. Sucks. It's payday, isn't it? Yeah. Janelle goes back inside and James takes her seat. It's warm, he says, wiggling his eyebrows. Restaurants are the same everywhere. The cooks are fucking the waitresses or they won't give up trying. I hear shit printing inside. Did I tell you about the cigarette game yet? James says, lighting a cigarette with the barbecue starter. James shows me a game they played in prison. You smoke a cigarette down halfway, then place it running lengthwise along the inside of your forearm. It's a competitive game to see who can let the cigarette burn them for longer. Last person to drop the cig wins. Want to play? That's fucking retarded. Boredom hurts worse. He had scars on his forearms. Not all the scars were shaped like cigarettes, though. James doesn't give off the pretense that he's turning his life around. His glam fuck stories of identity fraud, credit card skimming, and stealing disability money from paraplegics, which he says he's sorry, are about overcooked. Listening to him talk endlessly about all the forged checks he's written helps pass the time. After work, I sit at the long wooden L-shaped bar to make eyes at Janelle as she cleans her station. James sits next to me and whistles to get her attention. Can you cash this? He hands her his paycheck and she opens the cash register and gives him 650 some odd dollars in 50s and 20s. Out of the corner of my eye, I see James eyeing up the pull tab machine off to the side of the bar. What do you think the odds are of winning $1,000 off one of those machines? 1 in 50,000 maybe? Nah, not that much. He walks to the vending machine and pulls a fresh 20 out of his new wad of cash and slides it into the machine. It spits out 24-inch tickets and he brings them over to the bar and hands me half the stack. 2 pitchers later, James is putting his last 20 into the pull tab machine. Probability means there's no memory, a coin flip, a fucking dice roll. There's no memory. No result is owed to fate. I'm doing a shit job explaining math concepts that I wasn't awake for in high school, barely awake or drunk or coming down from X. James hands me another sack of pull tabs and I brush away the losers and start tearing the paper flaps. Fuck yeah, boys. James jumps up and I take a swig off the lukewarm pint. 1,000? James waves at Janelle and she gives him this exasperated expression that everyone in the bar except James picks up on. Nah, close enough, 50. She hands him a $50 bill that looks more like red toilet paper than money. Let's catch the last dance at T-Bars. I don't have ID. Just use mine. We don't look the same. Doesn't matter, trust me. Janelle calls us a cab and says good night, looking tired. I feel shitty for not telling her anything like my condolences or I'm sorry to hear about your father. But James is like the undertow of the Frasier. He just takes hold and drags you under. In the cab, he hands me his ID and my hands are sweating all the way to the peelers. 14 people have been shot and stabbed and killed at T-Bars this year. The weekend before, a dude stood at the entrance with a Chinese-made SKS until the manager gave up the safe. I'm making my peace with death. In front of the entrance is a big bald-headed tan gorilla standing under a pinkish red light, somewhere nestled in under a red nylon awning. James walks right past the bouncer without even a glance between them, but the bouncer stops me before I step foot inside. 2 pieces of ID. I pull out my student card and fumble with James' ID and hand both over to the living bicep in front of me. Whose fucking ID is this? See James peeking around this corner, shrugging a shoulder at me. My friend's. I'm 19. He said my student ID wouldn't be good enough. Don't pull this shit ever again. The bouncer gives me back the cards and waves me through. We sit at a table behind Gino Row and my arms stay crossed while James orders the pitcher. The stage is empty and I hear my dead grandmother's voice scolding me in the back of my mind. The words disgusting oscillates between her voice and the voice of the bouncer. I hate being scolded. The DJ announces the next dancer, and the first thing I notice about her is that she is significantly less attractive than the waitresses. I'd still fuck her, but I've only fucked 2 people and I could use practice. Show us your pussy, a large woman says. She sits next to an equally large man at the table next to us. The clothes come off and she has a small scar beneath her belly button, a tattoo across the top of her stomach, and glitter on her fake tits. Some man yells out, woohoo, right in my ear, and I feel my body fold into itself like an origami crane. We finish the first pitcher about halfway through the dance, gyration, whatever the fuck you call it. A waitress comes over and taps James on the shoulder and tells him last call. He orders the second picture and points to me. When the music finishes, most of the people are already on their way out the door. The stripper is in negotiation with 2 men on Gino Row, but I try not to stare for too long. James forces me to do my part and guzzle my half of the picture before the bouncers push us out. Cabs won't stop for us, so we walk the 10 blocks to Surrey Central Station. I see the bus parked with its lights on down at the end of the street, so I start walking quicker. James keeps up until what I thought was a trash can stands up and says crack. James stops immediately, but I don't even look at the guy who said it. I walk backwards and see James trade his last $10 bill for a baggie. My head turtles into my jacket and I turn around just as the bus starts to leave. Fuck. James leans into a shop window, his reflection completely black in the glass. He pulls a 1-hitter from his pocket and asks me for my lighter. Oh well. I watch James smoke crack rock on that dead city street, while the overhead street lamps make the snow piled up on the curbs and the snow dust curling off the awning of the shop sparkle. His eyes go red and I get the courage to tell him something. You need to stop creeping on the waitresses, man. Totally. Seriously, I say, it's fucked up. Yep. Okay. I'm starting to get cold, James says. Can you call a cab again? I look at his eyes and he looks possessed. They're bloodshot, pinkish, red, and glassy. I've met his girlfriend once, but she seems like her head is on straight, despite being one of those people who thinks they can fix people. I've been told many times that I have potential, so I know what it's like to continuously disappoint someone who thinks you're better than you really are. When we pull up to James' house, I can see his girlfriend holding their baby in the living room window. She's featureless, standing in front of the flickering blue light from the television. She's probably pissed, right? He says, getting out of the cab. Probably. Can you cover the cab, man? I'm out of money. I can pay you back next check. Sure. He stands at the entrance of the house with his head stooped low like a dog that just got caught stealing food off the table. I think about how he seems more afraid of his girlfriend than drug dealers, pimps, bouncers, and other criminals like himself. I think about how every scar burns or cuts out the fear a person has of the unknown, but there aren't any scars big enough to kill the fear of disappointing the person you love. That's it.
This may be the most depressing story you've ever written, at least that I've read. And you've written a lot of depressing shit, but man, this is so bleak. And maybe it's just because I relate to some of the subject matter here, like the sense of being in a shitty working class community. And oh my God, just the vibes of this story. I understand it's set in Surrey, right? And it's set kind of in your old shitty working class hometown, but God, it feels so much like my shitty working class old hometown.
That's the thing about shitty working class hometowns is that they're pretty much all the same. They have the same problems.
Everything about the way the characters communicate with each other, the fucking line about being told you have potential, so you know what it's like to disappoint people around you who think you're better than you are. Oh my God, that line cut my fucking soul. I've been there so many times in my life, you know? Just really devastating fucking shit, man. Really good.
Yeah, Surfaces told me this one wasn't their style.
Well,
so I just let it slide. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
my favorite fucking part of. Sorry, I just feel exactly the way William does. Okay, that's all.
I mean, it may not be Surface's style, but it's Misery Tourism style. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, damn.
That's why you guys are getting all my stuff recently.
I think the thing with Surfaces is they're really looking, I think, very much for like deconstructive and experimental stuff. So,
yeah, like tech adjacent, right?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff. And we publish that shit too. But for us, it's really so much about the vibe. It's like, does this make us want to kill ourselves?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was heavy shit.
Yeah.
I still remember that guy. I had him on
things
MSN Messenger.
And what they did publish is a very short paragraph, so I don't know if that makes you feel. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't really care. If I'm not getting paid, it doesn't matter.
I feel you.
Yeah. That's kind of why, like, I just publish most of my own work on Misery Tourism or on the Substack or whatever. It's like, as long as it's going out into the world, I really don't play the submissions game.
Yeah. So it's the good thing about the internet.
On Misery Tourism, though, like.
Sorry, what was that, Eris? I didn't hear.
It's really cool, like being. Oh, I have something on Misery Tourism, though.
Oh, hey, Mr. Ball.
Where all the cool kids want to be.
Yeah, Misery Tourism is
James
by far
Dean
the most active readership relative to their follower account. You guys have the best engagement score, the most likes, the most shares, the most retweets, and that's what matters to the algorithm.
Yeah.
Praise be unto Roko.
Mr. Ball, can you see it? Oh, I guess the thing's a little low, but he just climbed up the back of my chair. But no, we do get remarkably good engagement given the size of our readership. Like on a per capita basis, we're getting better readership than the Paris Review, better engagement than the Paris Review. If you compare if you go by how many followers do we have, how many people are actually like reading our publication versus how many engage with it, how many share it. We're doing pretty
Yeah.
good on that front.
I got a joke for that. The Paris Riv who? That's it.
Paris,
Uh,
but
fucking disconnect.
I mean, like,
Anyway, thank you,
I
Dan.
have people here that sent me letters from when I was in jail. So like that counts. That's how deep it goes. Okay.
Oh, man. Jail letters.
Oh shoot, I lost the Misery Loves Company tab with the giant Misery Loves Company document that lists all the readers refreshed on me. So now I have to wait for it to load again to see who's up next here.
I believe it's Kiko up next.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got it, Ernie. Are you still with us, Kiko?
Do you hear me?
Pretty good. Can other people hear him? For whatever reason, my volume on this netbook is really low. Can you guys hear him clearly? Or is he a little?
You don't hear me clearly. I have another account. Just a moment.
Yeah, I
we'll
hear you pretty
compare
good, Kiko, actually.
it. We'll compare it.
Okay.
How do you hear me now?
Oh, way better. Substantially.
Way better.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because I'm using another laptop without camera.
One thing you might want to do, it sounds like you have both of your mics going at once. You may want to mute the other one. You have only
Yep.
one.
Okay. So how about now?
Now it's
Beautiful.
good.
Perfect.
Sound great.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, since this is my first formal reading, I would like to excuse myself. Like, I'm really very sorry for my broken spoken English. If you won't understand some of the things I mispronounce or something like that, just go to the links.
Yeah, I just put the links in the chat, and your English is wonderful. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for consoling me, but we know it isn't. I'll be reading a couple of stuff from the previous things you published. The first one will be anniversary vision. Anniversary vision. All there's to know about us. No Limp Dick marked our decade of people getting sick more and more, of plants copulating, and it's been a downward season. Isn't it better to be sad alone? Our children were born, running meadows to the echoing green. She passed under a waterfall, he fell under a train, others hikikomoring in their room. Traces of hope pinch as grains of sand on stone. We look at twice the sun, surrounding us with the sound of pollen appreciation in grazing waves. The next one will be elected in the no. Did anyone, did anywhere, colors that bind the sky with windows, bugs of delight joyfully jumping in the air between. Oh houses, tell us what you've learned from the surroundings. And you, the eternal pimple conserves a testament of youth on the face, icy water on the crutches, and go walk the city. Was anyone? It's a blue explosion. It's exile on the green surface. Happy demented lady squeezes out of the crowd, greets the sun on boys' cheeks. We wanted it so bad. We really did. And the last two will be from, let's say, the last submission. Nina Victor Giuseppe. I want to smoke all weed, drink all wine, fuck all beauty. I know I can fly. I see the ground laughs at my needs. It presents me as a worm, a squishy thing. But I must search and I must fight and I must search the internet and my window. There's a web on my window. There's a cold outside my window and it's open and the spider is still. I was with people tonight. Time bears subtlety. I've just sent a gift to you. Sitting with the pain in my spine, rolling another one for the public. I prefer fluids. I read his poem on my friend's mobile tonight. Yes, I'm listening to Tosca. His picture on the screen, a fresh excavation, and we've all forgotten the beginning. What was before the beginning? Sun, sea, us. The green grazes the sun chews the mountain, the sea is blue sparkling white. At night all of me gathers to mourn. And the last one, who are you? And an epitaph. Satan's courier, but I know her lips said it only to get me up, to enchant me, but I was already there in eyes traumatized in velvet. Naming is the meaning to the devil. I can't dance, I sit down. If I were a volunteer, a believer in ladybugs and strawberries, I could have met that bouncy peasant and the gorgeous grin of her buttocks indicates. She's a frequent traveler and we would share images and pictures, photos outside the club of workshop destinations, paysages, conference halls. I removed all exotic competition from my album so she doesn't feel she's turning into a biscuit. If 3 a.m. is this century's midnight, what's the witching hour? At moments, her grin fades into a smile and I realize she could be a mother. I will compliment her dog. It's dawn and as I'm lying on the wall, Satan's courier and the bouncy peasants are dancing in a diluted club. Hotly, but in an elegant, heroin chic manner, awakening fusion. Their sweat is glitter my gaze, a homeless geezer in the park. As my eyes meet the eyes traumatized deeply, my eyelids, my eyelashes issue an apology for not being able to be your dark prince. I throw up gently.
That was fantastic. You killed it. You absolutely killed it. And of course, I love these poems because we accepted these poems, we published these poems. But hearing you read them made me think of like just how fascinated I am by the weird timelessness of these poems. Like normally when someone says something is like timeless, they mean, well, this could have been written at any moment in history. But these poems kind of collapse time in a really fascinating way where like there are stanzas that feel like they're right out of like some 19th century like existential novel like Dostoevsky or something. And then there are stanzas that are so like engaged with contemporary shit. Like I love the fact that you use hikikomori as a verb, right? And the wonderful stanza there where you like start like browsing the internet and then you're fixated on the spider that's like dying on your freezing window, and the use of the word web there, where web is like, are you talking about like the web or are you talking about like the physical web? Like, oh, there's all this shit that just collapses time in this wonderful fucking way. It's fantastic.
Thanks, William.
No, and thank you for sharing. And thank you for like working up the courage to actually like put your voice on video. You did a fantastic job.
Well, I'm very drunk, so it kind of it's easier that way.
Read here is read by drunk people.
Mr. Bones is screaming. I think he liked the poems too.
That's the greatest compliment. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
I just want to say, like, I have an
Oh, Eris, you just cut out. I'm not sure if there's something with your microphone, but I can see you talking, but I can't hear you. Oh, or maybe it's me that, can you guys hear me?
I don't hear
Yep.
her, so.
You can hear me, but you can't hear Eris. Eris, your mic might have cut out there.
I was just saying, I really love the line "Unwanted place in demon is demon fertilizer" from A Stroll, and "I throw up gently" is just the perfect poem ending. And if you end a poem perfectly, that's a really amazing thing. So, yeah. Did it work now?
Yes, yeah, thank you, Eris.
Yeah.
you. I'm not sure what's been happening with your mic, but I could hear you loud and clear that time.
I'm on a Chromebook. That's what's happening.
Oh, same here.
Oh, Chromebooks, yeah.
Chromebook pain.
Oh, that's awful.
Thanks, Eris, and show Silverstein. Thanks, Rudy. I like him a lot. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I definitely get those types of vibes. But it's like your imagery is like really vivid in the way that his poems and stuff are. So it's just really cool.
So thank you, Kiko. And up next is Adam, I believe, has a poem that he said he'd read if there was time during the open mic. So
sure, I'm here.
He's hiding in a closet and can't use his video. But Adam, you're definitely welcome to read.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right. This is a short piece called "The Online Orbiters of Venus." Dream vages in dream sequence, the strings of Brahms cut over detox icon tracks, faded low-def memories matchbooks. Asphalt nail scrapes inside an OMG text with fake tits and auto-corrected dick tuck paintings and bas relief. I just lost my screen. Okay, there we go. Amazon orders incomplete, the cart stuffed full in virtual waves, the Scotch egg freak waylaying the associate editor. He is hollering for more id, working brain levers, smoking tenderloins. Cool water cologne blunt instruments on the rooftop where they saved Sam from the ledge. A pocket full of USB drives stolen from Jarvis, the fake real estate agent. Jarvis logs in. All subscription junkies log in. Chris, the flunky. Donnie, the blowhard fuck, tapping his keys. Watching Cool Ranch Dorito thumbs from hell. Mickey the pervert. Mark the bitch-ass Mark of dreadful puns. Frederick the driver. Jared the green grape addict, wino thumper. Ace the rollerblade freak with acid eyes. All tuned in to watch the steady dance, the Wuzzy factor says. His ex marks the spot, shrieks, laughs. Down wing jaws, fades, freaks. Video off. Jack off fits to the only living god cunt. Muted, sinister. Venus blows a kiss of death. She's center stage. Winks, bleeds. Night struggles, tossing, but she keeps her cool. Don't lose it. I's even goose the governor, she says. It's an old meeting routine. Flicker moths appear from stretch battens. Soft petals drop, green, slimmed. Halo effect, a vignette. Venus pricks, takes powder, fingers, utters. Scene fades. There is a credit in Baskerville. All the orbiters narrow in. It merely says, love, Venus. That's
Holy
it.
shit. Holy shit. There's so much going on here. First of all, like, you've kind of created an entire little world in a very short poem. You've got so many characters and personalities here, like sketched so precisely using so few words, right? Like that's fucking wild. Just the sheer number of characters there are in this poem and the inventiveness of the language and the subject matter too. Like, this is like a cam girl poem, right? And oh my God, I don't know. It's beautifully constructed. It's wildly inventive. It's awesome. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, William. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's fantastic. My list reset. So I have Rudy here, but I also have Dan and no, Dan is read already. I'm sorry. Jesse is.
I can read something else if you want.
It may come to that, but so Jesse and Gigi aren't here. So Rudy, you had something you wanted to read. I guess it's yours now.
So this is a very interesting piece that I did not write, but Mullane was able to dig this up from some kind of search engine thing. And do you want to talk more about that, Mullane, or should?
It's called Marginalia. Search.marginalia.nu if you're at home. It's just a search engine somebody made that focuses on sites that have lots of text and punishes sites that have lots of like modern features like slideshows and ads and stuff. So what you end up getting is really old websites from like 2002. And so I typed in the term lecherous and I got what Rudy's about to read.
Yeah, this is something that I wish I had written, but I didn't, unfortunately. Yeah, really wish. So if it's okay,
No, I just saw it and I thought like, oh, this seems like something Rudy would like.
yeah, this is like the best thing. I'm gonna read the poem here. It's titled "White Guilt Rap." But first, if it's cool, I'd like to share my screen because I think that the picture that's here is really awesome. So I feel like it does the piece more justice if I share my screen. So if it's okay, I'd like to share my screen.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And I want you to pretend while I'm reading this that I am that person depicted in that very crude picture instead of a white man that I am. So let me go ahead and share. Oh, here it is. Everybody see it? Yum. Okay.
Oh my God.
Right. Okay. Let me get into the mood here. White guilt rap. I got this body. I got the body of a bull and the brain of an ape. I leave your major cities in a hell of a shape. I got snappy hair and a monkey walk. Been over here for 100 years and still can't talk. You know, I got this friend called the liberal white. I takes his money by day and humps his daughters by night. But he cuts me slack and he lets me slide. And that's what this nigger calls suicide. Just keep telling yourself that I don't stink and keep telling yourself that I can think. Well, how does it feel to be the slave of a slave? While you digging in your pockets, I be digging your grave.
I just want to point out for posterity that Rudy was the one who said, I want to read this at MLC tonight.
It's so good. Wayne showed me that earlier this morning and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, so okay, Donkey, you chewed that one.
Hey guys, let me just say that
When was that written? Was that like in like the civil rights era, or was that like written on 4chan 2 weeks ago? Like, what's the?
The rapping and like the cadence of the rap, I would say I'd put it in like mid 2000s. Like I'm not a rap historian or anything, but like
Right.
that's definitely like mid 2000s.
Yeah, this is definitely like some Lupe shit, right? Like some almost like backpack rap type, cadence, definitely. But yeah, the part where the part that goes, let me see. Oh, I takes his money by day and humps his daughters by night. That makes me think of that song. I think it's by 2 Chainz, where he says something about like I'm on spring break with your daughters or something. I'm gonna fuck your daughter till the springs break or some shit. It's a really good line. That's what I thought when I was thinking.
Oh,
Going
God.
The game has a similar line in Ali Boumaier.
Oh, it is the game. Yeah, you're right. Ali Boumaier. Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things about that really like makes gangster rap effective though. Like the weaponized stereotypes. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh, so you think this about me? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the way that's used against the audience, I think, is really effective. The way that like a lot is said about like conscious rap and how like its mission is to like, pull its predominantly white audience away from racism and like move them beyond racial stereotypes. But like one thing about gangster rap is like, it's basically you take those stereotypes and then you use that to beat your racist audience's head in. And I think in some ways, like that's a lot better to just be like, oh yeah, fuck you. You think I'm this? Okay. I don't know if it's just like the defiant side.
Will, do you know any of the history behind the 5%ers or like the nation 5% of like gods and earth and stuff? Where it was like
Wu-Tang into that?
Sort of, but like a lot of the New York rappers come out of that school of like trying to elevate and like enlighten people rather than reduce. But like I feel like Wu-Tang was into like the idea of like the like Japanese and Chinese like art of war and strategy, and like that kind of weaponizing stereotypes falls into like that kind of school of thinking of like more like chess boxing.
Right.
It's like rhetorical chess boxing.
Yeah, like jiu-jitsu rap kind of.
Yeah, Aikido.
Power.
Yeah. I really
Thank you for sharing that, Rudy.
thank you to Mullane for finding this treasure, honestly.
Thank you for breathing life into it like that.
And whoever wrote this, like I'm not sure who wrote it, but thank them, I guess too. Thanks to I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know. Awesome though.
Really racist Southern white around 1963 or so, probably.
Looks like January 2006.
Yeah, that's the thing above, but I don't know what.
There's a name on the thing. It says Al.
Oh, it's A.W. Man.
A.W. Man.
That's
A white man. Okay, gotcha.
A.W. Man is I don't know if it's a single guy, but it's basically a pseudonym that they use on these
like white supremacist type shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mid 2000s was kind of like the burgeoning days of like fucking Stormfront and shit. Like before 4chan
Stormfront.
was racist.
Yeah, no.
4chan was like weird, but like had some sort of a moral center for like a long time.
Dude, Stormfront is lit because you can go on there and like see shit about Lord of the Rings. They have a Lord of the Rings forum on Stormfront.
Oh, you know
That
what?
doesn't surprise me at all.
100% probably is from the early to mid 2000s. Here's A. Wyatt Mann, who is this was the guy I was thinking of. He's basically a white supremacist political cartoon.
Oh, A. Wyatt Mann. Okay, gotcha. His selected filmography.
Oh, God.
Is that why Varg Vikernes is like that?
I mean, That
Alright.
and
Varg
Sorry,
is an entirely
links
different
back to the-
story.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings front thing.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
I know Varg
Yeah,
likes to
Varg.
make games. I wanted to talk games with Varg, like to just like PM him and just talk games. Like, hey, dude, like, what's up? He has like, but he's like just random white supremacist from Norway, or isn't it Norway or somewhere?
Yeah,
Yeah, and he
was
like
into the
his whole
black
thing
metal
is he was in
scene.
a black metal band and he shot someone, or I don't know.
Yeah.
He
Then he went to
killed
jail, so-
Euronymous,
Yeah, he killed his bandmate.
and he's with by stabbing, not with a gun, but by
Yeah.
stabbing him like a lot of times.
Like multiple times.
Yeah, which is pretty fucking metal, if you ask me. So
Fucking yeah. He burned a lot of
Like-
churches and shit too. So like,
yeah, he was responsible when they're in their teens for burning down the churches that were burned down Norse temples to begin with, like 900 years ago. But like they found something to be salty about. They
Yeah.
made their own mythology for themselves, which I guess helped their sales.
yeah. I feel like Varg and I would have some stuff to talk about, honestly.
Why don't have you ever tried messaging him on Twitter?
I know he has a multiple accounts. So like the Gandalf the White 19 one is the one that I was following for a while, and just like I don't know if he still uses that one or not though, because I haven't seen it post lately.
I never really didn't get into Burzum as much as I did Darkthrone, because Darkthrone, the music is like a lot uglier and more dark, but the dudes that make it are like more chill. Like they also listen to
Yeah.
EDM, and in one of the documentaries, Fenriz is talking about like, yeah, our fans were mad that we made they talked about listening to EDM and they called us posers. And I'm like, we just made all this music that you listen to. And because we listen to like disco, you're pissed off. It's funny.
Yeah.
so Gigi has not showed up yet. I imagine that poor Jesse probably wasn't able to connect. So yeah, we basically, does anyone else have anything they want to share here?
I can read a weird story about a girl who goes to a festival. It's not like,
Sure.
it's like, okay, one sec. I dug up my Scrivener archive with like just thousands of poems and short stories that I just never did anything with, just for this occasion. This one's called Flowers in Her Hair. For the rest of this weekend, my name is Sky. Sky said to her friend Layla. Oh, no, this fucking story sucks. Never mind.
No, aborted.
No.
Hey, cut that.
No.
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 Yeah.
That's a cliffhanger. That's a tease. You're going to have to read that next time. Ben.
Let me fix it up. Let me fix it up first. I realized I'm like, what was the issue with this one? I'm like, oh, wait, it's way too fucking long.
Oh,
Yeah. I looked at the word count and it was like 3,000. I'm like, that's too much.
oh.
She's never said that, Eris.
Sorry, what was that? I think I talked over you.
I just said she has never said that because Eris said she said that's what she said.
Oh,
That's what she-
oh God. So does anyone else want to read, or will we kind of call it a day here? We definitely have time. I am going to have to end this a little earlier than usual because I'm traveling tomorrow. But we do have time for a few more people to read if they want to, or if anyone has anything. If not, we can call it a night and then pick up, and then maybe next week, Jesse and Gigi will be here along with probably some others.
I got some.
I can read.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Eris. I was just gonna say something dumb.
Please.
Yeah, Rudy, please. What were you gonna say?
Sorry, I was just gonna say I have some writing prompts I could read since I've joined the writers community, the hashtag writing community.
Oh shit, yes, let's do this.
If Eris wants to read, no, go ahead, because these are very short. So
Oh, we'll do that, and then we can screen share, and then I was just gonna read like a mean email one of my ex-girlfriends sent me because she wrote a lot of emails.
You
oh,
should
nice.
totally do that, Eris, but your mic is
Next time.
very quiet. Is it just for me?
Oh,
If you could turn your mic up, I'm just having some difficulty hearing you, but once your mic volume is up a little, 100%. Oh, Eris said I'll just use an iPhone later. Okay, that sounds good. So Rudy, I think it's you with writing prompts then.
Roger that. These are these are some serious literary prompts for serious writers only. Hashtag writing community. You know, like let your characters write themselves and all that shit or whatever the fuck they talk about, you know. So writing prompt number 1. A large male general of the high command takes out his penis clandestinely in the officer's brothel while a mage watches nearby wearing a cowl. Hashtag dark fantasy prompts. Writing prompt number 2. A Riven, muscle-bound pirate in league with swarthy characters receives a message of intrigue in the men's bathroom of a well-guarded facility. Hashtag sword and sorcery. Writing prompt number 3. Caraform McJohn Riggins, a gargantuan male nigger with legendary jowls, trips on a crypto ward while on the wireless and becomes victim number 69 of the Tanglefoot high-tech lynching scheme. Hashtag sci-fi. Serious writing prompt number 4. A cloaked figure with odious intentions makes short work of the cadre of political lesbians guarding the only women's bathroom on exoplanet 439b. Hashtag Nebula winners. Serious prompt 5. A supple, middle-aged magister sunders her staff in the court arcane, unleashing the souls of 13 apostrophe 000 mana leaf addicts who quickly slide back into recidivism. Hashtag Noble Bright. Serious prompt number 6 or whatever. A female of exceptional gumption meets Jigaboo Jones during one of his urban spelunking sessions and becomes part of his uncouth ethnographic research sessions. Hashtag Grim Dark. The opposite of Noble Bright. Serious writing prompt number 7. Crooked Jimothy Sturgeon, a southern gentleman with rippling muscles, animal-like celerity, and gothic attire, can skin a buck and run a ley line. Hashtag Southern Gothic. Serious writing prompt number 8, the last one. Archduke Nathan Bedford Forrest furiously whips a male nigger on Decoration Day 4077 and plays a part in the game of lawn chairs. Hashtag Solar Punk. And that's it.
Rudy, I need to know, did you actually tweet these out using those hashtags?
No, I didn't. I was thinking of making an account just for it. So
You should. And
I
make sure
probably,
if you have space to add the writing community hashtag to each and every one of them.
that's a
Because I
good
would
idea.
love to see what kind of reception those writing prompts get. The
Yeah.
hashtag
Definitely.
Nebula winners one really fucking got me.
The next time they do Pit Mad, we should all like join in, and it's just the most ridiculous concepts, but just really well polished, like cliche enough. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
because there's a lot of agents at smaller agencies that just kind of like just pick up on like the weirdest shit.
Yum,
And
yeah.
they like rep small presses that don't pay anything at all, but like which is defeats the purpose of being an agent, I think. But like
Oh
I don't
man.
know. It'd be a good thing to troll because it's like no one would be able to tell the fake ones from the real ones.
Yeah,
I had the story about owls who wear chainmail and fight each other. Is that real? It is. It is real.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So thank you, Rudy. Thank you for sharing those extremely serious writing prompts.
It
And I'm
reminds
sorry.
me of this glove that I found. It's like made out. It's for like fencers or something.
Oh wow!
man, it looks
Where the
like-
fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
They're also used by chefs that they can avoid accidentally cutting their hands.
Oh. Oh, it's like a
Oh.
chainmail glove. Huh? Oh, huh. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know how to say this. I have to pee really badly, so I can't really read right now.
That's okay. Why don't you read next time? You'll read next time, and
That's a
maybe
great
you
idea.
will be all set by then. Okay. Did anyone else have something they would like to read, or should we call it a night? No? Okay. So I'm going to end, well, I'll have Rudy end the recording in a second here. I will keep the Zoom call up for about half an hour, probably until 10, but I'm not going to keep it up till like fucking midnight like usual because I have to get up at 7 tomorrow because I'm traveling home. So it's going to be a long day. So anyway, if you were watching this after the fact on YouTube, this has been Misery Loves Company. We do this every fucking week. We tweet out the link about 15 minutes before we start, and we start at around, yeah, that's a fucking lie, by the way. Lately, I've been like tweeting out like 5 minutes after 8 or whatever, but whatever. We start this thing around 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. If you'd like to come and share your own work, everyone's welcome to read. If you'd like to come and lurk and watch, that's cool too. Anyway, you can follow us at Misery Tourism. I have no, I mixed up my spiel tonight, so I have no idea where I am. So fuck it. I think that's it. We're done. Rudy, if you can end this thing.